Wow, I really need a haircut. Hey everybody, thanks for coming. Good to see you. Oh, I wonder if this light should come on. Is that better? Ooh. It's been a while since I posted my last video, and a couple of reasons for that is, well, I kind of went down a rabbit hole. I needed to video something that was on the computer screen. At the same time, I wanted to show something at the on the bench. So obviously, I did some homework, did some research, and I did find some products which were very good, but the problem is I started going down that rabbit hole. Can we get something better? Can we do that? So I ended up purchasing this assortment of products, specifically the LivePro L1, the Stream Deck, a couple of USB and HDMI output cameras, and some lens adapters that I could use with my old lenses. So I wanted to share this experience with you, and then my conclusions at the end of the video. We'll talk about them, and then we'll just go through that. So I hope you come along. Just look. It's not a review, and so there's some unboxing and some talk, but at the end of the day, at the end of the video, we'll kind of go over what I ended up deciding and how we go from there. All right, good. Thanks for coming along, hanging with BigE. We'll see you in a few. I wanted to look at trying to increase the efficiency of the camera setup, and I've been working on that for quite a long time. Still have this project here that we haven't looked at, but I actually thought about, I do a lot of videos on the bench, so I plan to, and I'm trying to use the HDMI output of this camera to record in the future on OBS. However, when I tried to plug in USB cameras, the computer, even though I have an i5 and an i7 processor in the latest Surface Books, it couldn't handle it. The USB port wasn't enough to handle the amount of bandwidth the video signals were generating. So I looked around and I thought, well, let's see what we have in terms of a switcher. So I found this today actually, and I bought it today, and I thought we'd look at it together and then set it up and see what we think about it. So it's called the Feelworld LivePro L1. Now I guess it's made more so for streaming applications where you set up multiple cameras and such. Yeah, granted, we don't have multiple cameras, well, we have multiple cameras, but we don't do live streaming yet. But I think this could be good because I'm thinking of multiple camera setups, you know, for different positions, so that, you know, we can highlight where we're working on. So just a quick look at it. So multi-camera, it's got a PC and app control, picture-in-picture, live streaming via USB 3. It's audio embedded. I'm not planning on using the audio embedded function. I do have a Lexicon Omega mixer, an old one, but it's still better than anything I could find out there. So it has all these features here. I'll just zoom in, you guys, if you're curious about it. So, and yeah, these I gotta find a solution to these lights. They're getting on my nerves, let alone probably yours. So this is what we got. Let's take a gander. I've been curious about this. What was it? $2.99 on Amazon. So here we go. And I guess we lift the whole box up here. No, guess we don't lift the whole box up. We'll pull this part out, set that aside, and see what else we have for now. So we have the USB male-to-male end here, and then we have something in this box. Oh, I wonder if it's a power adapter. Opening box 101. And yes, it is a power adapter. So it comes with the European plug and the US plug and the adapter. So A nice touch. It's got a screw-on locking barrel connector, so it won't fall out. That's a nice touch. And we'll put on our US plug adapter here. Is it just a lock type? Oh, okay, so you put it in from the middle and then just push it down. Alright, so that's all that's in the box. No HDMI cables or anything like that. So now we'll take a look at the unit itself. Instructions. You probably want to read the instructions, but instructions, we don't need no stinking instructions. So this is the unit. Should we? Should we? Well, let's see if it works first, and then we'll peel it off. So it's a DC 12 volt in. We'll do that in a second. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 HDMI inputs, 1 HDMI output. And what do we got here? We've got a LAN connection, the USB connection, which goes to the computer. Oh, is that out of focus? Yeah, the LAN, the USB, and then the audio in and audio out. So it's got audio pass through. Interesting. Okay, and then what do we got? Ooh, it's actually fan cooled. That's interesting. And then here we have, oh, that's interesting. We have the on-off switch, and then I believe that's a quarter inch screw on. Let's just see if it fits on my camera mount. Yep. So it fits on the camera mount, so it's just your standard camera mount connection, but maybe it's not. I've got a longer one. This is maybe too short. It's not reaching all the way into the plastic, but it looks like it's a quarter inch. I could be wrong. Anyway, so let's plug in the power. And then let's find a source. What should we feed into it? I don't know. Alright, let's just plug in the power. Okay, and then we will flick the switch on and focus it for you all. Nice. It's got a really crisp LED there, LCD. So 4 cameras. I've got no inputs. It says no input. Zoom that in just a bit more. So yeah, see, no input. I'm glad it told me that. I wasn't sure if I had an input. So apparently, I guess, interesting. I have no clue how it's working. What we can do now is, let me set this up on the computer. I'm recording now to the SD card of the camera, and then we will switch gears and record to the computer via the USB or LAN. I believe I can use LAN. The USB is not the most reliable with these kind of applications. So let's try that, and then we'll reconvene once I got this thing set up. Okay, you want to see the user manual. So, multi-format video features, USB for live streaming, blah blah blah. Safety instruction, don't use in the rain. Does it say that? No, it doesn't say that. That'd be funny. Oh, keep away from flammable and explosive materials. Well, that's definitely good to know. Compact design, product overview. We looked at all that. We looked at how it's connected. It's pretty simple. Push key, select the menu. So, oh, okay. Ooh, that's a push key. Menu button. So this SW key here is effects key to mix picture-in-picture and stuff like that. Not sure if we got the right one. Let's see. Oh, so the LAN port is only to communicate with dedicated software. Alright, so we're going to go USB 3. Battery is flashing anyway, so let me get this connected up and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we have the unit set up now. I'm actually just connected as a different video source. The camera is streaming to the unit here. I'm curious to see what the audio, if it's going to be synced, because the audio is coming from a different source, and I can see my hands are actually kind of in a delay. So let's just 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it looks delayed, but it might be in sync with the input here. We'll check that in a second. So now we have just my Samsung as the DeX. So if I want to transfer over to that one, I just do this, and you can see it transfers over to the second USB source. Yeah, all in all, it's pretty interesting, pretty cool. And we'll transfer back to this one, and yeah, there's well, I'm looking at the video feed. I'm using OBS to record it, and I can see from the video feed that there's considerable delay. Alright, so just wanted to share this with you guys. Not so sure how it's going to deal with this delay, but it is what it is. Alright, thanks. Okay, so I'm actually using the audio in from here now. However, I can see on the mixer. Okay, I actually did a recording using the input from here, and the audio didn't even pass. There's hardly any gain, and I had it, cranked up on the output of the microphone lavalier itself. I don't know if the audio sync is going to be too bad, so let's just try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite sure, but anyway, there's some cool features, so I just played around with the feature, and I could actually do a picture-in-picture. So you can see now that there's a picture-in-picture here. So I have the top camera and then the feed from my Samsung. And the neat thing about this is, with the different setups and different cameras, we can do some unique operations. One point I want to notice here is you'll see that there's a black border around this frame, while the camera is putting out 1080i. It's not P, it's not progressive, it's interlaced. However, there's a black border around it, unfortunately. It's clear, but that black border. So I actually did get another camera that hasn't come yet, so hopefully when that comes in, that'll be the top view camera, which hopefully doesn't have this border. But for now, we'll just kind of play with this and try to get used to it. So I hope this audio lag issue is not going to cause a headache. I want to do something a bit different. I'm working on this, which I've said many times it's going to come up soon. But right now, because the weather's so cold outside, I can't even go out there. I want to play around with my setup, and what I was doing was using my Canon 3 Ti as my primary overhead video source. So what you're seeing now is actually a relatively cheap $130, $40 camera. Not the highest quality, but because it's going to sit overhead and do this part of it, I think I was okay with that. But one thing I noticed is there's like a little curve here. You can see along the line, it's not straight. and I believe that's due to the lens. So I have an old camera, and now you see the footage from here. What you're seeing here is actually the old overhead camera, and it's the Canon 3Ti EOS. This is actually one of my first cameras. It's an old 300D EOS, my first digital camera, and I don't use it anymore, but it does have a lens. So what I did is I actually bought a lens kit adapter to adapt it to the camera up here. So I thought it'd be fun to share that with you guys as well. So let's close that so you don't get dust in the camera. You never know when we'll end up using it. And so this kit is again, something that we got on Chinese. Now notice the color difference from the Canon, which I'm pointing to now at you guys, versus the overhead camera. This EOS camera is much higher in terms of quality, but for the stuff that we do on the bench, I think it gets the point across, and hopefully as time progresses and we get the finances in order, we can get a better one. So this comes with the CS adapter. This is a C camera going to a CS. The camera that I have overhead is actually a CS type, so that basically just defines the focal length of the lens to the thing. Oh, interesting. Did that come with that? Huh. It actually came with a Canon lens cover. Wow. I'm sure it's not real, but interesting. So apparently you just line up the white dot here with the white dot on the lens itself. So that's that will sit in. It's actually made of a nice hefty aluminum, and then you turn it apparently until it clicks. So now we have the lens installed, and what I'm going to do is continue with this camera here. It's going to be a side view because I have to unmount the video camera up. So give me a second to do that, and we'll continue in a moment. I actually put the lens on, and I think you can see that the lens is it works. That's I guess a good part, but the bad part is it's very narrow now. I mean, it's literally in your face. But I guess well, for one thing, it did take care of the what are that, fisheye effect, I guess they call it, but now it's too close. Anyway, let me show you what that looks like sitting on the actual camera there, and you see it's so that's what it was going to look like had it been proper. But now I guess we'll just have to go back to the other lens and just deal with that. Yeah, I guess I'm happy. Why didn't I do that on the big one? Let me show you that again real quick, just very quickly. So that's what it looks like overhead with the lens attached, and that's the camera body right here. But yeah, a little disappointed. I was hoping that we can get the camera to at least be usable. I guess we could use it if we're going to do some seriously close-ups, like if we're going to look at a circuit board here. Yeah, that's relatively clear. I mean, let's see how much. Yeah, it's touchy. I mean, just even, let's see if I can focus on. Yeah, the lighting definitely is a problem. I realize that. So yeah, apparently, well, I guess we just made ourselves a microscope, which I guess we can use for when we're like soldering stuff and looking at the components closely, and grab a pick here, and yeah, so you can even see the glue residue that was stuck on the pick. But yeah, I think it'll have its function, and what we'll do in the future. But for now, I guess we'll switch it back over to the original lens and just use it till we get used to it and figure out what's going on and why this lens here. Let me pull this back if I can. And yeah, we did lose the autofocus. So this is what it is here. I guess I could change the lens with you guys here. Let me not get you seasick, so let me go to the side view here. And we'll just take out the camera. So that's what the camera looks like. We'll cover it up with the lens protection, and then we'll take just unscrew it. It fit. I mean, I can't complain. And then this was the adapter that came with the lens kit, which apparently changed the focal length over, and it's what allows this camera adapter to work with this type of a camera mount. I guess the security cameras use this mount. So now, oops. So now we'll take our original lens and just screw it back on. And then with that in place, now I'll put it back into the other view. So this is what the lens looks like now. It's not bad. I mean, it does close up. The one good thing about this lens is it's an infinite focus, so I don't have to keep worrying about, once I set the focus, where it's at, that's pretty much where it's going to stay, so it's not going to move. But yeah, you see the field of vision is much higher on this one than it was on the other camera, or on the other lens, sorry. Little sad, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping that we would have it more, see how wide the field of vision. It's clear. It's a 4K camera, so it's not like it's not clear. Maybe we'll try the dual camera setup, kind of have an overview maybe in the corner next time, so the corner here would be like the overview, this camera, and then maybe we'll have the the Eos somewhere around here that could give more detail. I don't know. I mean, it was worth the try. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit sad that it didn't work, but it did work at the same. So there we go. Don't know what else to add on this. I'm actually using the utility program from the Canon, which is the utility called Webcam Utility, and they have them for a bunch of different cameras. So this is what I'm using. I did get an HDMI card, so now you can see that it does have a much larger field of view here, and you can see. So this I did get an HDMI input card, which, as you can see, is connected to my USB hub, which is running the computer, which now we go into infinite. I wonder if they could see. Hey, yeah. So that stopped working. I don't know why, but anyway, I hope this helped someone that thinks that they could just throw it. I definitely could see the benefit of this if you want to like zoom. I mean, it did come out clear, as we all saw, but it didn't meet my expectation of having a decent field of view so that we can see an overall picture, and we can just use it more for detailed work. All right. Okay, so I'm doing this test one more time. This is yellow, this is red, and these are black. This is kind of a teal green, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know why. Anyway, this is our circuit board, so that's what we're looking at today. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's come to the conclusion together. Long story short, all those LivePro, the Stream Deck, this LivePro, and the HDMI camera, the thing, I'm actually sending them back. One, I didn't particularly care for the application on how that worked. It is geared more for a live streaming, which probably is great, and even a two-person setup. And to be quite honest, as I mentioned in the beginning, well, I'm mentioning it now. This is kind of a hobby, and sometimes that rabbit hole you go down, you end up putting in more money and more resources than you should. And that's exactly what happened to me. I started wanting this, wanting that, wanting to make it better, wanting to do more. And one of the primary reasons is, of course, I want to provide quality content to you guys so that you enjoy and you want to come back. I've kind of found out that actually the setup I had previously is actually the best setup for me. Basically recording this particular portion of the video off of my iPhone. I think it's a 12 or 13. Anyway, they're very similar. And what I ended up doing, let me show that to you guys. But before I get to that, there's one part of the video which I did not go over, and this was the Mokus camera. Obviously, these cameras are all Chinese and all that, but I'll tell you, my old Canon that you see right here, man, that puts out better output than any of these cameras I tried. So yeah, I just, as much as I wanted to have this flexibility with cameras and all that, you know, you get what you pay for. I don't remember at the time when that first came out, you know, it was you know, not the cheapest one, not the most expensive one. You know, it's kind of an intro to the DSLR cameras, but still, I mean, yeah, it still outperforms anything you can get in the Chinesium, up to $300-400 easily. So what I do now is, of course, keep that. I do still have the camera hooked up so I can record independently through that, and then I'll use the card inside here to download the video to the computer, and then I'll use a video editor to bring them together. That was kind of one of the things that I wanted to do, was to use the computer kind of as a DVR, so I can record everything at once, you know, and have the multiple interfaces going, and consequently the sound quality could be equalized across the different portions of the video. But Canon does have a utility which connects the camera via a USB to the port, and what they call a Eos Webcam Utility, and basically it uses the camera, as the name implies, a webcam. It is limited in its output resolution, however, but I think for the side pictures that we'll do on the side every now and then to see what's on the bench, it performs just fine. So let's quickly look at what I ended up doing. What I found out was best for my applications. You know, that's the caveat here. I'm not recommending this. You know, perhaps people tried things better for themselves, or have different applications that worked out better for them. But this is for me and for what I'm trying to do at this portion. So let me show you what I ultimately ended up with. Okay, as I mentioned, I ultimately am keeping the Stream Deck. That thing turned out to be incredibly functional, and not only can I use it for editing videos or recording videos, it is something that I can use for other programs such as Word, Excel, or even video conferencing when you have the conference call. So, for example, if I even just push the OBS Studio, I just programmed it all. It will open the OBS Studio on the computer here, and then I could obviously move that to a screen, and you can see, for example, now the Eos Webcam Utility is there. Let me move this to the other screen so it's just a little bit bigger. Well, actually, I'm not going to move it to the other screen because I want to show you what it does. So if I turn on the webcam now, you'll see that it will actually bring the camera into the picture. Now, the one thing about this is there is a slight delay. So if I put my hand in now, you'll see that it comes in a little later, but that all can be offset in OBS Studio by changing the delay in the audio input so it does synchronize. Not the best, but hey, we're not doing motion pictures here. So I also have a HDMI input card here, which connects to the hub, which is a USB. And that actually, I purchased one of these Apple cables to connect the Apple to use as the cable function. Now, in OBS Studio, I could turn on, like, for example, the front cam. So we can look and do the front cam, and then I think I have like the USB just kind of went. That's the HDMI input, and then here I had that function where I can put the screen. Now you see this is the screen here on this side, so that is what I wanted to mirror, so I could do some things here on this screen, and then we can record it. So that was one of the driving forces to get this far. And like, for example, now I can have the screen, which I'm on this screen here working at the same time. I can also that's not what I wanted to do. I can come to this screen and do some things on this screen here, which will now allow me to not only talk and show what I'm trying to do on the computer, but gives me the function for the video as well. Output. I think, yeah, the battery died on my camera. Anyway, so that's what it is. And then with the bench setup here, as we all know, this now I can plug into my iPhone, and there's a program called Clear Connect, something like that. It's a program that actually converts your output signal to the to a clear HDMI out, which allows you to then feed it as kind of a webcam with a higher resolution. So this is a setup, and I think after doing all the due diligence, I believe that this is the optimal setup for me. But incidentally, just to give credit to where credit is due, in the video I showed one video camera, which was also a Chinesium based CS lens base, which then used this CS adapter, which then allowed me to use this lens on it, so I could actually put an old Canon lens onto this. Now that did that camera that you see in the video, that you saw in the video rather, I did not like. I could not control its color temperatures. It was way off. But this Mokus one, since I'm not going to utilize it, I didn't want to make a video on it. But it did have a much better output characteristic than the one that you saw in the video. Okay, so we just had a quick look at how I'm doing this. I wanted to share this with you. I know there's plenty of videos out there with people a heck of a lot more competent than me on video and such. But I think for someone who's just starting, getting into this, this could easily go extremely expensive in your setup to something, relatively within, kind of a normal hobby budget. And I don't know why my camera keeps wanting to shift, or rather the gimbal that's holding the camera. So I keep seeming to move and it's not connected. Let's see that. There we go. Anyway, if it moves, it moves. I do have an old iPhone 6 actually that I'm updating its software. You might have saw that in the corner. I'm thinking of maybe I can just use that as a camera, since we're not doing 4K videos at this moment. We're still just keeping in the HD realm. So this is where we are. Again, I've been procrastinating, and I mentioned this a few times on my other videos, to get into this project here. And this is what sparked this whole let's find a way to make better videos, and that's to program that car ECU. So we'll get on to that as soon as we can, and hopefully share something. But I wanted to get this out to share the experience, kind of. The camera just moved again by itself. Why? I don't know. Anyway, to share it with you guys, and hope that you maybe learned something, maybe found something of interest, be great if you shared your experiences in comments. If you liked it, please like it. If subscribe if you can. Trying to get the word out and make more videos. It is a lot of fun, but like I said, it could take a lot out of you too. So thanks so much for stopping by, hanging with Big E. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.